Hi, how's everybody doing? This is going to be part one of a demonstration on how to work on Masa paper to give you an impression that you're doing a batik when you're not. So this is part one. There's going to be a part two. And then the third video is just going to say a batik without wax. And the thumbnail is kind of purple color. That would be one complete video. So I was trying to figure out how to do this so that you could just learn different techniques and how to use Masa paper, okay, which is kind of a little different than other things we're using. One of the things that I did with Masa paper to make it look like a batik is this flower, which is the one we're going to do the video on. And then another little batik look-alike was this little bird using Masa paper. And if you notice, it looks almost like a watercolor, but it has like a little texture to it. So I found in doing these that it's better if you do it on a bigger surface. If you can notice, the smaller surface is more like a kind of pencil watercolor, and I don't think I wrinkled the paper enough. So I will try this again and do another video and see how that works out. But I really do like the way this little guy turned out, even though it's not what I was looking for. So now, first thing we're going to do is you're going to draw your design on tissue paper, right? And then you're going to transfer it to your Masa paper. But if you just notice this Masa paper, when you transfer it, you really can't see the design very well. And when you put it on your watercolor paper, you won't see it at all. So the first thing you're going to do material-wise is you're going to have tracing paper, transfer paper, which is not carbon paper, but graphite paper. You will have Masa paper, and you will have watercolor paper, and obviously water. I'm going to use a Sharpie pen, and this one is an ultra fine point. And I'm going to use some watercolors, which are yellow, green, Payne's gray, blue, and purple. And the brand that I used was Core, which is a brand that Golden Paints has. And I like them because they're very vibrant. So just for disclosure purposes, I'm an artist educator for Golden Paints. And if it's because of their generosity, whew, that was a big word, and provided me with some of the supplies, this video is made possible for all of you to see. So as you can see, I have this little Masa paper here, but I really can't see my lines. So I take my Sharpie and I go around my paper and I outline all of my petals. And I don't care if I can see my little pencil marks, because when we paint them, this kind of is all gonna disappear. So today we're going to really be just testing the paper. So I'm not really interested so much in how we paint this. So this is just a regular flower. And this one happens to be a Georgia aster, which apparently is on the endangered species. So we got to take care of our planet. We don't want to lose these beautiful plants. Okay, so the other video that I did, I sprayed the paper, right? And then I went ahead and painted it. Oh, and the other thing you're going to need is soft gel matte. This is how we're going to put the paper together. I'll use a little brush, but you can also use a big brush to put the gel on it. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my watercolor paper because I don't want that to get soaking wet. And believe it or not, this is, I put this in green so that it will look good on the camera. But this is just Masa paper. It has a rough side on one side and kind of like a smooth side on the front. It doesn't matter what size you paint on because it depends on what look you want. I just picked the front. It's no big deal. If the lines, the pencil lines are really driving you crazy, let me put this over. You can erase them a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. But if it bothers you, see, it just comes right off. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna soak this paper. Now see how sturdy this paper is? When we wet it, it's gonna become very brittle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of crumple it a little bit, and I'm gonna dump it in my paper in the water, as you can see, and I'm just gonna keep crumpling and putting it in there and make it into a little ball, and just keep going. And I do this for about, I don't know, 45 seconds. I don't look at my watch, so if you're counting, kind of count 45 seconds. I don't know. I just like it to be nice and covered all over. So that's why I'm turning it with my hand. Now, some people tell you not to squeeze it all the way dry. And if you can notice, the paper is starting to now have little lines in it. So this is what the time it tells me, take it out, Chris. Don't leave it in there too long. So now I'm going to squeeze it out, get all that water out of there. And now it became a little ball. I'm going to move this away so that I don't have a little accident here. And now I am going to put my watercolor paper down, and I'm very, 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 very carefully going to open this up, guys. I did this and I ripped the paper recently, so you don't want to do that. Just keep it light, okay? So now, see how wet that is? It's almost like, I don't know, wet noodle, like they say. So I will put this straight onto my paper. Now, this is a 5x7 Strathmore watercolor paper. So I'm going to divide my paper in half. I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to take my gel mat. I'm going to wet my brush because usually when I take care of my brushes at night, I put a little bit of soap on them so that they stay nice and juicy. So here I'm going to take my soft gel mat, and I'm going to be generous with it on my background here. Don't use Elmer's glue. Don't use Mod Podge. That's a glue. This is a gel. So there's a difference. Now I'm going to put this on here, and I really like the wrinkles on here, which is what I lost when I did my little bird, because I smooth it out too much and I lose the wrinkles. So I'm going to try another bird on another video without flattening it out too much. Now, see where the gel is from the piece that we just put under just now? So I'm going to take my gel and I'm going to put it on the bottom here, very generous. Come around. Okay, and put my brush to the side. Carefully pick up my paper, and from the center out, I'm just patting it down. I discovered when I did this little bird, okay, that I patted it down too much, and that's why I didn't get my little wrinkles. So don't do that. I learned. So I'm going to do this bird again. I'm determined to get it to be all crinkly. So we'll see in another video how that works out. So now we have a paper glued down all over. I'm going to close my gel. I don't want that to dry out. I'm going to rinse my brush so that the gel doesn't stay stuck into my brush here. And I'm just going to do a brief demo right now just to show you. But in part 2, you'll have the full demo on how to paint this little baby, okay? So I'm going to spray this with a little bit of just water to activate my watercolors, because watercolors stay good forever and ever. And because this surface is so wet, I am going to take a little piece of palette paper, and I'm going to put it next to my project here. But first, I'm going to dry all this around me, okay? Here's my little dish, and here's my little paper. I'm going to start with the purple, and I'm going to do a really nice clear surface here, and I'm just going to blot that color into my background, okay? And that's really all I'm going to do in this video. You have the complete video next to this one. I am not brushing, if you notice. I'm just putting my paint down. I'm going to take a little bit of that green, and I'm going to just put it on my little leaves. And already it's starting to look like a batik. See that? Okay, I have a little yellow here. I'm gonna water that down and put it here in the middle. So this is how you do the Masa paper, draining it into the little water bowl. That's all you really need to know about that. Like I said, watch video 2. It will have the complete painting of this little beautiful flower, the Georgia aster. And watch some other videos. I'm going to try to do the bird and see how that happens when I crumple my paper. And this time I'm going to put it on the wood surface. Let's see what happens and how it comes out. I don't know. We'll find out together. So thank you so much for watching my channels. Let me know if there's something definite that you would like to paint with me. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.